The AGO has a great collection of Canadian paintings and has made real commitments to certain artists, international and Canadian, where their work has been collected in depth. So one thinks of Henry Moore, the great galleries we have upstairs, which shows the finest collection of Henry Moore's work anywhere outside of Much Haddam, which is just outside of London. One thinks of Jack Bush, a great Canadian abstract painter that we hold in some considerable depth. But we had never committed to a contemporary artist in that way. We had never said that there are contemporary artists working in our time where if we could put together an extraordinary collection that became, in a sense, the collection of record or the study collection, that we might be saying something very powerful. So saying something powerful about Canadian identity, that there are Canadian artists who deserve to be collected in depth, but also contemporary artists, that we could make that judgment in our time rather than waiting to do it retrospectively. And so a group of us, Dennis Reed, Jessica Bradley, we sat around and we started to think about what, call them moves, what kind of acquisitions we could make in some degree that would make us the study center of record for certain key Canadian artists. Paterson Ewen was one, Greg Kerner was another, Betty Goodwin was a third, and then subsequently we've done the same with David Blackwood, whose show is on the floor just below us, where we've actually gone to the artists and with their engagement put together a pretty extraordinary collection that tells the story of their artistic production. So we put this collection together with Paterson. We made an acquisition of some scale. I think at that time it was almost 40 works. And then we committed to continue to collect his work. So many of the works that are on view in this exhibition for the first time, which are mostly the works of the 40s and 50s, actually came to us subsequent to that first purchase by gift, where we would actually, I'd done the research, we'd find out where these paintings were, we'd phone them up, we'd write them letters, we'd say this is what we're doing to try and create a real record of Paterson's work, we want to keep it all together, would you be interested in possibly sharing this with the public? And so on view in this exhibition for the first time are many works that have come to us from private collectors. And our thinking was that it would be a really important statement to collect the work of a living Canadian artist and say, in the same way that it is worthy to think about Henry Moore as a central figure of our time, so too would it be for a Canadian artist. And we decided on Paterson and on Betty Goodwin and Greg Kerno because we felt very simply that you couldn't account for the history of contemporary Canadian art without thinking about their achievement. And the way I would push that a bit further is to say we thought about those artists who have had the most influence on other artists, because often that's what legacy is. It's sort of like a relay race where the baton gets passed. And in Paterson's case, his influence was enormous. And one of the things we've tried to do in this exhibition is not so much talk about his influence on other artists, that's a chapter still to be told, but to actually talk about those artists who have influenced him. So to put Paterson in a lineage. And I think the more important the artist, the more surely you can put them in a lineage. So you can talk about where they've come from and what they've given to the next generation. And in this exhibition we have a couple, 2 or 3 moments in fact, where we see the work of artists who really influenced him and helped him change direction at key moments in his career. And then for the first time ever, we've actually put on view his private collection, which was given to us shortly after he passed away, in which what you see are the works mostly of younger artists, some of whom who have not gone on to forge big careers, but some of whom, many of whom are still active as artists, who Paterson wanted to encourage. And he wanted to, in a sense, tip his hat to them. So that's that notion of passing on legacy or encouragement in another way. And, well, that's what the show is about. Thank you for watching this Art Gallery of Ontario video. For additional episodes, as well as information on current and upcoming exhibitions, please visit us online at ago.net/exhibitions.